This NFL Films production is a presentation of the National Football League.
There's somebody beside you that's depending on you. I need you right now. Touchdown. Come on.
Amen. They got it right. That's the important
thing. Could go all the way. Touchdown. Yeah! Champions got points.
The team of destiny has arrived.
The time is here. It's time to go to a Super Bowl.
Blue skies and high hopes mark the start of any new season. In Baltimore, the Ravens were realistic about their immediate future and approached the 2000 NFL season with cautious optimism. Coming off a break-even season the year before, they knew they were a team on the way up.
We knew we had a good group personnel-wise defensively, that it had been in the lower half of the league in terms of its production. And so for that group to come together as a team defensively and end up the number 2 ranked defense in the league, I think was a success. We had to settle in and find a quarterback for ourselves, which we did eventually.
Banks rolls out to his right, now scrambling around, they get a hand out, throwing wide open, Jermaine Lewis, touchdown!
I think we had to look successfully at a team that over the last 9 games averaged better than 25 points a game. And by most people's standards, 8-8 would not be a real lofty goal. But for this organization that had yet to have a non-losing season, that was a big step for us.
Just look around. Look around what's going on in the league. Everything is just sitting right there. If we just keep getting better and better and better.
There is parity in why so many teams feel like they really are within grasp of a championship, because there is that chance for transition in any given year.
We've learned a lot. Everything we do, we don't do it with just the eye on, is it going to help us this year, but how is it going to affect us down the road?
A lot of that road would be paved by receiver Travis Taylor and fellow draft picks Chris Redman and Jamal Lewis.
We're on a very sound footing here. I think that our expectation is to improve this year to be a legitimate playoff team, and I think that sets us up then to take the next logical step to be a legitimate Super Bowl contending team.
I think that people looking at us right now definitely look at us better than they looked at St. Louis last year at this point. So, I mean, if they could do it, then I see no reason why we can't.
My dream is to wake up in the morning and the Super Bowl trophy is sitting on my nightstand in my house, and I get to nudge my wife and say, look, this is ours. This is what we earned through our effort. How great will that be?
The Ravens' window of opportunity opened on opening day in Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. A feeling of quiet confidence had come over the team, and there were signs that this would be no ordinary season.
There was a certain type of urgency to be great now. There wasn't any hesitation. I mean, it's like we had meetings with each other and looked at each other and said, where we're trying to go. You know, the Super Bowl is in Tampa. We were so anxious to get to the season that it was sometimes scary to see each other sink, or we would sit there and we would say, man, we're going to be good.
In their final appearance at Three Rivers, the Ravens gave the Steelers and the rest of the NFL a look of what was to come. Priest Holmes burst through the Steelers for 119 yards rushing, while the Baltimore defense made a great first impression as well. front four of Sam Adams, Tony Siragusa, Michael McCrary, and Rob Burnett helped hold the Steelers to just 30 yards on the ground. The Ravens handed the Steelers their first shutout at Three Rivers in 11 years as Tony Banks and Kadri Ismail teamed up for the only touchdown Baltimore needed to win.
And Scott on the coverage, but a 53-yard score. That same combination that hit for 3 touchdowns in the third quarter last year in Pittsburgh has struck again. Again, they caught him in a defense, and somebody blew it over there.
The emphatic road win set the tone for the season and rounded out a picture-perfect afternoon. Back home in Week 2, the Ravens were eager to take another step up, this time against a team they had never beaten, the Jacksonville Jaguars. But early on, Baltimore's highly touted defense got stung by the Jaguars' Jimmy Smith. Once Baltimore was a town where no lead was safe, where comebacks were commonplace. And on this September Sunday, some of that old magic was in the air.
Tony back to throw on first down. Throws near side. It's caught inside the 10. Travis Taylor out of a tackle. Touchdown. The rookie from Florida scores his first professional touchdown. 14 yards, and the Ravens are on the board.
In only his second game, Travis Taylor helped Baltimore take a 32-29 lead deep into the fourth quarter.
Throw, Tony Banks, pretty good time throwing in the end zone. Taylor's open, touchdown! The rookie's second score of the day.
Bloodied but hardly beaten, the Ravens' defense let Jimmy Smith land one more haymaker as the Jaguars regained the lead 36-32.
To the far side, and it's deflected to Jimmy Smith, and he's in for a touchdown.
Baltimore's comeback character came through, and with under a minute left, Tony Banks' 5th touchdown pass of the day sent the Jaguars packing.
Banks with the snap. He sets, throws deep down the middle for Sharp. He's got it! Touchdown! Shannon Sharp in the end zone, and the place is going Ravens wild. Oh my goodness! What it! That's why we got it! That's why we got it! Man, did he make a catch, Scott! The Ravens took a step up when they signed Shannon Sharp.
Baltimore's most valuable free agent acquisition boosted the resilient Ravens to a 2-0 start atop the AFC Central Division. Though Baltimore took a hit in Miami, the team was encouraged by the performance of their first-round draft pick, a 230-pound back with sprinter's speed. In his first start, Jamal Lewis ran for 76 yards on just 9 carries. Despite their first loss of the season, the Ravens knew they'd added another solid weapon to their backfield. Determined not to let their season go there, the Ravens set their sights on Cincinnati.
Won and lost right up in the front, baby. Right up in the front in the trenches.
All I want to see is back to the basics. Fundamentals, put some training camp on them now.
Kick your ass on 3. 1, 2, 3. Kick it!
Football may be the ultimate team sport, but at its core is a collection of individual battles, one man's skill and resolve against another's. Whether the war is waged in the pass pocket, in the open field, or in the pit, the team that wins the most individual battles will ultimately be the victor. Against the Bengals, Baltimore pretty much won them all.
Blitz, give us the backside.
Tony Banks made all the right reads and found Travis Taylor in the back of the end zone. But there was little satisfaction in the 10-0 first quarter lead.
You're turning your goddamn shoulders, Michael. ride them out and get back in. You guys lose 1 inch of your mental toughness in a game like this, and it goes right now.
Come on, Jamal. Come on, come on. Use that body, baby.
Inside Bengals territory, left-hand side, touchdown Lewis. From the 11-yard line off the left side, broke several...
Behind the blocking of Jonathan Ogden, Edwin Mulatalo, Jeff Mitchell, Mike Flynn, and Harry Swain, Jamal Lewis had a breakout game, grinding out 116 tough yards.
That's the way to take the challenge, Harry. That's the way to take the challenge.
Rob Burnett met no challenge on his path to the quarterback.
Burnett.
Apparently no one, and his second sack was as uncontested as his first.
Look what you got, man. God almighty. God almighty, this has got to be big.
What was big was the ever-increasing numbers on the scoreboard. Baltimore nickeled and dimed 5 scoring drives of 10 plays or more, on their way to the most lopsided win in team history.
All I want to know is, what kind of cheap fireworks was that?
Huh?
That was some cheap fireworks.
I could give you the money or have better fireworks. What do you want?
Now, I'm kind of frugal.
Y'all know what type of game we in. It's a game to easily get relaxed in. But if we want to be the best at what we're trying to get done, we got to shut this team out. All right? We can't have breakdowns in the fourth quarter. We got to communicate and think mentally. Everybody got to know that there's somebody beside you that's depending on you. All right, it's up to us to go out and win this game. This game is already won. We're trying to get a goose egg. You know what it's pride now. It's pride, D. Let's go.
By holding the Bengals to just 94 total yards and forcing 4 turnovers, Baltimore's second shutout of the season remained intact.
Still, those fireworks are weak.
Except for a few minor bursts, the Ravens' offense was less than explosive in Cleveland. And despite chunks of yardage by Jamal Lewis, the Ravens never reached the end zone. But they didn't need to. The defense allowed the Browns a mere 23 yards on the ground, forced 4 more turnovers, and became the first team since the 1985 Bears to record back-to-back shutouts. Four-point production, Baltimore called on All-Pro kicker Matt Stover, who delivered all the Ravens' points with 4 field goals.
Could you? Yeah, baby. Once again, showdown number 2, baby. Man, it's real simple. We come in here and take what we want. This league's all about men coming together, taking what they want. Let's get that done now. Let's get that done. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, back. 1, 2, 3, back.
A Sunday night showdown in Jacksonville offered the Jaguars a shot at redemption. They never got it.
Just like we worked all week. Keep our great depth. Keep our great depth and make him check the ball down and run like a son of a gun to the football.
Grinnell in the shotgun with 3 wides, takes the snap, drops back to throw, pressure coming, turns and delivers the ball. It's caught Fred, and he drops it. It's picked up by the Ravens, and there goes...
Already leading the league in takeaways, Baltimore added 4 more in the second half, including Rod Woodson's 57th career interception.
Go give me one. I need you right now. Huh?
Let's finish him off and go home.
Burnell throwing the slant. It's popped up in the air. Herring dives. Does he have it? Kim Herring has the football.
Matt Stover booted 5 more field goals, and the first-place Ravens became the first team since the 1925 Detroit Panthers to win consecutive games without scoring a touchdown.
You go on the road against a damn good team that is absolutely desperate. A desperate man, willing to give anything up to get a win, and you get a win on the road, what has been a long road on the road for us, guys. Something special going on. We got to build on it. We got to build on it.
Nothing special ever happened 38 miles down the road in Washington. Despite holding their neighbors to just 10 points, the Ravens' 3-game win streak came to an end. But late in the first half, Baltimore had its best chance to cross the goal line all month.
Play action fake, Banks throwing, and it's intercepted. The Redskins intercepted the end zone.
It was a tough stretch for sure, but one the Ravens would see their way through. In their first meeting with the Titans, the secondary went after their division rivals in a big way. Kim Herring, Dwayne Starks, Chris McAllister, James Trapp, Rod Woodson, Robert Bailey, and Corey Hall all contributed to hold Tennessee to just 7 first downs and less than 200 total yards. The Ravens outgained Tennessee by more than 175 yards, but were plagued by untimely mistakes. It had been so long since Baltimore reached the end zone that some Ravens could only imagine what a touchdown looked like.
How we scored, man? Huh? How we scored? That was 13-0. Oh, field goals. Did we score a touchdown? Field goals.
Banks dropping, looking left, firing ball, intercepted, David Sidney.
The dry days of October took the heaviest toll on Tony Banks. As always, when things go south offensively, the quarterback takes the heat.
You knew they were coming. It's blocked up. Just deliver it, Trent. We got to let Trent try to do something here now. Okay, we got you, Tony. I want that.
Dilfer drops. Pressure coming. He steps up. He fades it into the left corner of the end zone. Incomplete. The ball was caught by Ishmael, but he was not close to being in the end zone.
Trent Dilfer couldn't get the Ravens into the end zone either. But Brian Billick had no choice but to name Dilfer his new starter, hoping he could jumpstart the Ravens' fading attack.
Trent Dilfer. Well, I'll be. Let's go,
A rusty Trent Dilfer suffered a season's worth of growing pains that afternoon, and the Ravens once again failed to score a touchdown. It was a time that called for patience and persistence.
They say the highs and the lows balance each other out, but it's my experience that as great as the highs are, the lows tend to get a little bit deeper. And you have to learn to have a little bit of a thick skin about it. You have to have, most of all, confidence in what you're doing and recognize that sometimes a thing's just not going to happen, that it's just not in the cards for you to win. That doesn't mean you throw your hands up and say, what the heck, it doesn't make any difference whether I work hard or not anyway. But you have to have a confidence in that what you're doing is the right thing, and that if you stay that course, you're eventually going to be successful.
Stokely in motion, Dilfer under center, back to throw. Time in the pocket, throws underneath. Stokely's got it, he's at the 10, the 5. Touchdown! Brandon Stokely has gone where no Raven has for 21 quarters. Dilfer back to throw, in the pocket, throwing for the end zone. It is caught. Touchdown Raven, Shannon Sharp. And suddenly, touchdowns look easy.
Looks real easy.
Gradually regaining poise in the pocket, Dilfer completed 68% of his passes for 244 yards and 3 touchdowns.
I just hold and go, my guys are so good, I'm going to hold this thing, hold it, boom!
As always, the defense played with aggressive efficiency and made certain that Bengals running back Corey Dillon would set no rushing records on their watch. The dry days of October were over. The Ravens made it through a dark time and came out of it the same way they went in, a team together.
It is a difficult time, but the fact that we faced it down, that the players didn't turn on one another, if we didn't have to face that difficulty, I'm not sure we'd be here today. Just from the standpoint of what you learn about yourself, that you learn, the team learns about itself.
Let's get it on! Let's get it on now, let's go! It's party time, baby!
Since the Titans moved into Adelphia Stadium, it's been party time. They'd never tasted defeat in their new home. That is until November 12th, 2000.
Deep upfield, Ismail's got a step. He's got it. He's at the 10-5. Touchdown, Kadre Ismail.
Hey, I held that thing forever. Forever! Like 6 seconds I held it. Hunting all day, hunting all day.
All-Pro Eddie George managed just 28 yards rushing, but 2 Titans touchdown catches cut Baltimore's advantage to 17-14.
Loose fumble, and I think the Ravens have it.
McNair's fumble gave the Ravens possession with under 5 minutes to play.
That's it, deep. That's it, defense.
All the breaks suddenly seemed to be going Baltimore's way, even when Jamal Lewis flirted with disaster.
On the ground, Lewis, he's got some room across the 40, 45, midfield, he's still up, he lost the football, and he caught it! It went straight up in the air, and he caught it like a pass!
Oh, my goodness.
Unbelievable!
Run the clock! Work the clock!
If somebody's covered, you got to throw it away and get your 3. Yes, sir.
But with less than 3 minutes to play, disaster struck for real.
Intercepted, Terry Phoenix in, zone, touchdown, Titans, Adelphia.
The interception return put the Titans ahead 23-17.
I made a big mistake that basically cost us the football game. And then to be able to overcome that adversity, personally, the football team, for the team to look me in the eyes in the huddle and see 10 guys staring back at you that had ultimate faith in you.
Hey, you can't come out. Oh, I'm making the play to win the game. Don't worry. I ain't gonna let you do it this week. I want to do it. I want to do it. You ain't coming out of the game. I know we're not. If I gotta prop your ass up.
It meant a lot to me. That moment for me has kind of carried me through the rest of the season.
Dilfer back to throw. Now feels some pressure, runs to his right, looking upfield, throwing long for Sharp. He's got it! Out of bounds at the 29. Dilfer, short drop, throwing a lob to Kadre Ismail. Runs in interference. We got a flag at the goal line. 23 on the play.
Trent Dilfer shrugged off years of disappointment, and for one drive at least was the best quarterback in the NFL.
Dilfer rolling out to his right, looking, throwing, touchdown! Patrick Johnson! Man, you talk about a football game.
Of course, Tennessee was not about to let the party crashers from Baltimore slip out of town without a little scare.
Steps up, he's going to run. McNair 40, McNair 35, McNair 30, McNair 25, 4, 3, timeout Titans! A 43-yard attempt. Can he give the Titans their 14th straight win at the Coliseum? There's the snap. The spot is down. Pick is up. And it is no good. He missed it. And the Ravens give the Titans their first loss ever at Adelphia Coliseum.
The streak is down. I got a cover of Sports Illustrated here. Says Titans are the NFL's best team. Maybe they are, but not today.
Now there's something you don't see every day, a 340-pound place kicker. Actually, Tony Siragusa was a kicker in high school. Now he kicks butt for the NFL's #1 defense.
Off to Emmitt Smith, and he's stopped right at the line of scrimmage. The Goose got him.
The Goose got him, and so did Michael McCrary, Rod Woodson, Corey Harris, and countless other defenders. The Ravens recorded their 4th shutout of the season, the most by any team since the Steelers got 5 in 1976. And Trent Dilfer's renaissance continued with 2 more touchdown passes.
Dilfer, play action, fake, setting up, looking deep, throwing the bomb for Ismael, and it is caught! He's got it! Touchdown, Ravens! Here they come. Dilfer just gets it up, sharp, wide open. 35-30, 25-20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Shannon Sharp! 59 yards!
Tying a franchise record for wins in a season, the Ravens were on a roll. Talk about getting up for a game. Nobody does it quite like middle linebacker Ray Lewis, the NFL's Defensive Player of the Year.
How do I follow that, huh?
If you want to see how to play defense in the National Football League, you look at Ray Lewis. Not only is he aggressive, he's technically sound, he's disciplined. He works very hard in the weight room, in his conditioning, in his preparation. He's a student. He knows his personnel's formations. And above all, he takes it back to the sandlot. He has a great time playing football.
He's very, very good. He's as good a player as I've ever seen, been around, and been fortunate to coach. Great urgency, great passion, the ability to make football play after football play, and to come up with the big play when you need the big play. He's put himself in position this season to stay very sound, to stay and play within the scheme and the schematics. And our team has gotten better because of it.
We knew what we needed to do, and that's what we talked about the whole year. Before the season even started, we didn't care about anything else. All we cared about, if people don't score, they don't win. It's amazing. These are things you sit back and say to yourself 20 years from now, wow. You know, when you're old and you're watching your kids play and they run in on TV and say, Daddy, you're on TV. And you think, because you get that feeling or that sensation that runs through your body and say, wow, I was on that defense. I was on all of that. I mean, it's almost like a book you read and you be like saying, I wonder if I can be that guy one day. But it's true.
Come on now, we got to get tempo about us. Got to get a tempo about us. We look a little lethargic now.
After spotting the Browns' 7 points, Baltimore got its groove back.
All right, we're back on schedule. Keep pushing, keep pushing. All right, nice job. Gotta get that fixed, man. You're bleeding all over. You okay? All right. Oh, there's a punt. Come on, come on, come on. Strip in. Get the ball! Get the ball! Get the ball! That's what we needed. Now, come on. Get a tempo. We don't have any tempo about us. Get them going.
Dilfer, play action fake, looking to throw, wide open, Gash, touchdown! Sam Gash has his first touchdown as a Raven.
Hey, I keep telling these guys you can catch, they don't believe me. Nice job, Sam.
The Ravens took the lead and the defense made sure it stood. Ray Lewis led a blitzing charge that thoroughly overwhelmed the Browns.
Here comes Ray Lewis after him, he got him!
As a result, Cleveland managed just 112 yards and 5 first downs.
If they stay 2, you got your good 7s to the flat. You want to know anything more about the play that you don't already know? Huh? We're going to go vertical. Let's go after that little rookie now. Just go 989, Fox 99. If they stay 2, we'll go after this guy and get Shannon. You got him, Patrick. You got him, Patrick.
Dilfer back to throw on first down. Good protection. He's throwing the bomb for Patrick Johnson, and he's got it. Touchdown! Patrick Johnson with the score. Let's go after the young'un. He beat the rookie, Anthony Marlborough, a 46-yard strike.
Now you got it. They are done. They are done.
Still got a little left, I think.
Baltimore's running game also had something left as rookie Jamal Lewis entered his name in the Ravens record book.
Touchdown, Jamal Lewis! And now he's the Ravens' all-time single-season rushing leader.
Get a little tired, huh? We getting winded? We getting winded with those one-play drives?
Priest Holmes added a final touchdown to cap the most convincing win in team history.
Like I keep telling you, open your mind to the possibilities, right? Just open your mind to what's going on. Look what's going on around right now. Get home tonight, turn on that prime time, looking at some of those games. Just think about the possibilities that are going on. You're paying the price. So what comes due, comes due.
When I got drafted, I was like, who is this Baltimore team? I was like, dog, got picked by Baltimore. But then coming in, just looking at everybody that they brought in, the draft and free agents and things like that, I was like, hey, this is a special team. From day one, man, I said, I want to go in and win a Super Bowl. And I'm talking to all my friends and everybody that's been with me this year they can tell you every day, every game, even when we was going through the losing streak and everything, I was telling them, we're going to the Super Bowl.
If we win, we're in! If we win, we're in! If we win, we're in!
We win, we're in. That's all we know. You win, you're in.
Get a W, yeah, never been there, so I'm trying to do today.
Dilfer, short drop, pump fake. Now throwing deep in the end zone for Ismael. He makes the catch. Was he in?
Of course it was. You bet it was.
The Ravens' offense improved by leaps and bounds, and there's little doubt that one major reason for the transformation has been quarterback Trent Dilfer.
Dilfer back to throw. With some time now, pressure throws in the end zone. Stokely, touchdown!
Dilfer's second touchdown pass of the game not only sealed the Ravens' 10th win of the year, it finally lifted Brian Billick's season-long ban on uttering the word playoffs.
Count down, baby. Count down. First time in Ravens history.
Now, obviously, the fine for the P word is off. There are some people that will say that we set our goals too short. You in this room understand why we said we got to earn our right into the playoffs before we start talking about doing something else. Other people don't understand that. You got to earn the right to say what you want to do when you say you want to go to the Super Bowl. Men, the time is here. It's time to go to a Super Bowl. Okay? That's the sight.
Why not?
That's the sight.
I didn't feel it was the time to hide from it, to be coy. We needed to be bold, brash. I knew we were probably going to be on the road a lot during the playoffs. I wanted the players to know first that they were a playoff team. We still had 2 games left to play. But I wanted them to start thinking like a playoff team. And I wanted them to start to understand right back then that just getting the playoffs, that's great, but that's not what our ultimate goal is.
Plummer back to throw, looking left. Throws left. That one's intercepted. Taken away from Chris Gedney by Jamie Sharp.
Our ultimate goal is to go to the Super Bowl. So that's what we ought to be talking about. That's what we ought to be thinking about.
In the regular season finale, the Ravens set their sights on 7 straight.
Let's go!
Looking to his left, pressure, and throws into the end zone, and it is caught. Touchdown, Cadre Ismael in the back of the end zone.
Fighting for their playoff lives, the Jets grabbed a 14-7 lead before they began to come apart. No thanks to the Baltimore defense.
Deep drop, sets, throws underneath, and it's picked off. McAllister has it.
In the process, the Ravens set the record for the fewest points allowed in a 16-game season with 165.
Ravens with a touchdown. Yes! 96 yards, and they take the lead. All right.
See some smiles over here on the bench. He's having fun yet? He's having fun yet?
In the second half, lifelong Raven Jermaine Lewis took over the game.
At the 45, 40, through the pack, 35, 30, 25, Tupa, can't get him. Touchdown! Yes! Jermaine Lewis! All right!
Still mourning the death of his infant son, Lewis's inspiring performance was a triumph of character and heart.
Midfield, he's got him! Jermaine Lewis, second punt return of the day! Yes, sir! 89 yards! The former Maryland Terp on fire! Oh, man! The fat lady can sing now!
Someone did something special today after a very difficult time in their life. Okay? Game ball, no question about it. Tell you what, a lot of different ways to show class and character. That's a hell of a job, John, man. Good job, Jay.
I'm just really hoping they play that song about the dogs or something about the dogs and letting them out. I've only heard it once, so I'm kind of looking forward to them playing it again today.
In their first ever playoff game, the Ravens defense emerged from the locker room ready to rumble.
Short drop, looking to throw, pressure, throws underneath, it's intercepted. Ray Lewis intercepts.
In the first quarter, number 52 was everywhere. Denver's blocking scheme simply had no answer for Lewis's speed and lateral movement. While Broncos backs found nowhere to run, Jamal Lewis had no problem navigating the Denver defense.
Handoff, left side, Lewis, stutter steps, big hole, 15.
Lewis rambled through the red zone to the Broncos' 1, setting up the only touchdown Baltimore would really need.
Handoff, Jamal Lewis dives, is he in? Touchdown! He went right over the top, got up, ended, and flew into the end zone, a 2-yard score, and the Ravens take the lead. Wow, run up over the top, he had to be. If he was high jumping, he'd have cleared 6 foot on that one.
Come on, Trent, right down here! Give it the shot at Trent!
The Ravens' second score came about in a far less conventional manner.
Dilfer in the pocket, plenty of time, throws out the flat to Jamal Lewis. It is caught by Shannon Sharp on a deflection. Sharp up the far sideline. He's at the 40. He's at the 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Shannon Sharp, touchdown! On a freak play. It was intended for Jamal Lewis. Popped up in the air.
I think it was Terrell Buckley who had a chance at the interception. He kept it alive in the air. And Sharp picks it off. Oh, my.
Sharp got there, scooped it up, and ran right down the sideline in front of the Bronco bench.
Sharp spent the final months of his storied Broncos career nursing an injury, removed from the starting lineup. He was not offered a contract for the 2000 season, so when the Ravens went shopping for a veteran tight end with big game experience, Sharp got a new lease on life, and the young Baltimore Ravens were a better team for it.
Boy, you gotta be lucky sometimes, Tom.
Hey, fate is on the Ravens side. Are you kidding me? That was spectacular. No, that was spectacular.
In the pit, that vital area where most football games are won and lost, the home team threw its weight around.
Keep coming after him. Keep tackling. Keep coming after him. That's round 4. That damn smile on your face. Let's
On the other sideline, the Broncos had nothing to smile about. Their offense crossed midfield just once all afternoon. And when the Ravens turned the ball over to Jamal Lewis, number 31 powered Baltimore into the next round of the play.
Keeps his feet, he's on, he's going to score, 10-5, touchdown! Jamal Lewis was stopped initially at the line of scrimmage. Al Wilson couldn't tie him up. He popped out of there and went the distance.
I'm sorry, again, the power that he does, he keeps those legs driving, Scott, and man, he bounced off there, kept them going, fell forward, and went in the end zone.
Al Wilson just tried to hit him and knock him off his feet with his shoulder. You can't do that against a strong back.
A 27-yard touchdown for Jamal Lewis, who has a 2-touchdown game.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That is the man I know right there.
Who's the only team to beat Tennessee Titans in the Delphi Coliseum? If you pick the Baltimore Ravens, you're right.
In his first ever playoff game as a head coach, Brian Billick got a winner's toast. Next up, a rematch in Tennessee.
Raven shot down in Philadelphia today, baby. Believe that.
Amazing. Nobody wants to pick us again. Nobody wants to pick us.
Coming off an extra week of rest, the Titans came out of the blocks on fire. Eddie George carried the ball 6 times on the Titans' opening drive, and his 2-yard score put Tennessee on the board first.
Long count McNair. Gives George going left. George cuts back inside. Drives toward the goal line. Touchdown!
The hometown crowd was then treated to some great defense, but it was mostly at the Titans' expense. Eddie George never ran effectively the rest of the day.
You're doing a hell of a job pass blocking. Fight your butt off every freaking down.
Dilfer back to throw in the pocket. Great protection. Throwing deep wide open is Sharp. He's got it. 25, 20, 15. Cuts back in. 10, 5. Still on his feet. All the way down near the 1-yard line is Shannon Sharp. Take a look at the replay and tell me how Shannon Sharp got so wide open because he was all by his lonesome. Out, trying to cut it back in, still on his feet. He is in the end zone. Touchdown! Jamal Lewis off left tackle behind Ogden and Mulatalo, and then he cut it back in, kept his balance, and he's a tough guy to bring down.
I'll tell you one thing. He got hit up on the top up there and just bounced that guy off, kept running, kept his feet going, and then finally got in the end zone.
This is a game you have to withstand the first part of it. That's gone now. Now you're playing the game. You made it through. Now you're back in it now.
The main reason Eddie George never got loose was number 52, who ran sideline to contain him. Time and again, Lewis's speed allowed him to cover the entire field from his middle linebacker position. Late in the second quarter, it became clear that special teams would decide the game.
Send the punt, he's in trouble. Blocked by Chris Coleman, and it rolls out of bounds at the 25-yard line of the Ravens.
Great field position only translated into 3 points for the Titans, thanks to 2 missed field goals.
Pick is up. This one's in the air, and it's no good. He missed it. Del Greco.
Defensive end Keith Washington blocked 2 Titans field goal attempts, the second paying off with 6 points.
Kick is blocked. Kick is blocked, and it's caught. The Ravens have the football. 25, 30, Anthony Mitchell up the far sideline. He's at midfield. 45, 40. He's going to go all the way. 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Anthony Mitchell. No flags. The Ravens have the lead.
Yes. Arriba. 90 yards on the play. Can you believe the Ravens? That's just a team of destiny, Scott.
Anthony Mitchell. And how about Del Greco, Tom? Gets a field goal blocked for a touchdown. He has had nothing but nightmare against the Ravens the last 2 games. McNair has the football, has a lot of time, throws underneath, and it's picked off. Ray Lewis has the ball. He's on the 40, 30, could go all the way. 20, still on his feet. Touchdown, Ray Lewis. All right. 50 yards. He took it away from Eddie George, and Ray Lewis, the defensive player of the year in the NFL, may have sealed the deal for the Ravens.
The fat lady can almost sing. Unbelievable. It was a wrestling match out there, and who won? My man, Ray Lewis.
Write a book called How to Win Ugly in the NFL.
And again, you've got to give the credit to the best defense there is.
Some very disappointed people here, Benny.
California! We're strolling to California! Woo!
Oakland, California, to be exact, with a Super Bowl on the line.
I know, man. Good luck today. You too. Great job. But a long way from where we started to get here, huh? Good luck. All right, you too.
They ain't seen nothing like this. They don't know what they don't know.
They don't know what's in store for them. Come on, baby. Come on.
Game time! Game time!
Belligerent, bellicose, and brutal, the Ravens' defense spent the first half darkening the day of Raiders quarterback Rich Gannon.
Snap back, blitz is on, and down he goes. Michael McCleary got him. The sack master against the Raiders came from the right side and just buried Gannon.
Good start. Good start. 3 and out.
Back to throw goes Gannon. Here's some pressure down the middle. It's picked off. Ravens have intercepted. Robert Bailey has it. And there's the first turnover of the day.
Woo! I'm telling you, great coverage by Bailey.
Now let's see if the Ravens can cash in. They've got it on the 19.
After 3 plays yielded but a single yard, Matt Stover had the game's first scoring chance.
Kick is up. He missed it.
That ball hit the upright.
I think so, yeah, it hit the right upright. Yeah.
So a break for the Raiders. The Ravens come up with the interception, and they don't have any points to show for it.
For a brief moment, the Raiders had the Ravens reeling.
Dilfer pressured, and he's sacked by Willie Thomas back on the 2-yard line.
We going for the kill, Harry.
Dilfer under center, back in the end zone, short drop over the middle. Sharp's got it, 20, right up the middle, 30. He's at the 40, he's got a blocker, could go all the way. Touchdown!
Shannon Sharp coming down there, splits a seam on the zone, Scott, and then he just runs down there. Patrick Johnson
He had an escort.
He had an escort.
You're not that fast.
That's what you brought me here for.
But you're not that fast, but don't tell anybody, okay?
Aptly called Rip Shannon Run Quick, the play was designed to exploit the Raiders' pass coverage, which surrendered a league-high 91 catches to players lined up at tight end.
Brian Billick talks about explosives on offense. They don't get very many, but they got one here.
The great block came from Brandon Stokely again. That really sprung him after he got out there, man.
Atta baby, guys, just keep pushing. Just keep pushing. Just keep fighting, man. That character's coming through.
While the speedy Sharp was able to run away from defenders, the Raiders could not.
Ray Lewis is fired up, Scott. He is unbelievable on this field.
Character, chemistry, and the Ravens' insatiable defense limited the league's top ground game to an anemic 11 yards in the first half.
And Gannon is injured. Gannon took a big shot, and he is down inside the 5.
Gannon gave way to a different quarterback, but the results remained the same.
And they handed off to Wheatley right side, and I don't think he got it. He got stuffed. Ravens defense doing their thing.
The foundation of the Raiders offense is the running game. And now we're beginning to see the frustration, in particular in John Gruden, with the Raiders unable to pick up 12 inches on this team.
Bobby Bobby Hoying at quarterback, and he's back to throw. Sets up inside his 5, some pressure. Now has time over the middle. It's picked off. The Ravens intercept. Dwayne Starks down to about the 21-yard line.
I mean, he timed that perfectly. Starks broke on it just as he was following through. It's unbelievable how they can rise to the occasion on every situation and just come through for the team.
4 plays later, Matt Stover atoned for his earlier miss.
John Hudson, the snap, kick is up. And this one's good. So Matt Stover makes it a 10-0 Raven lead.
A mere 30 minutes stood between the Ravens and a trip to Tampa. And a mere 30 minutes stood between the Raiders and next season. Trailing by 10 points, the Raider Nation searched for signs of life from the home team. And on their first possession, the Raiders showed a pulse. Their first drive led to a 1st and goal from the Baltimore 2. The best the Raiders could get was a field goal, while Baltimore picked up 2 of their own. The Raiders fared no better in the 4th quarter.
Scrambling around, ball is loose. The ball is loose. I believe the Ravens have it about the 6. The Ravens recover.
The Ravens squeezed 5 turnovers out of an Oakland offense that had surrendered the fewest turnovers in the NFL. In their remarkable postseason run, Baltimore allowed just 1 touchdown.
This Baltimore defense, not overrated. They are terrific.
Don't underestimate us, they don't quit underestimating the Ravens.
Raiders fans who still have the stomach for it watched the final meltdown.
Going back, pressure from the outside, throws down the middle, intercepted by Sharper. The game is going to end. The Raiders get oh so close, but they cannot get into the end zone against this defense.
Trent, they underestimated you, baby. I underestimated you, baby.
Hey, just give you a slingshot and a stone. And go kill him.
And after several near misses, Ravens owner Art Modell was prepared to hoist the Vince Lombardi Trophy for the first time.
Wonderful. You're the greatest ever. Yeah. Thank you.
Not done yet.
Scott, the team of destiny has arrived. They're going to the big show.
This started back in the off-season, and you work through training camp, and you hope maybe you got a chance to be one of those 2 teams to get to the dance.
The Ravens are dancing off the field, and they feel dancing all the way to Tampa Bay. The Baltimore Ravens are the champions of the American Football Conference.
Unbelievable. We're going back to Tampa. You deserve it.
Cast away by the Buccaneers a year ago, Trent Dilfer returned to Tampa as a Super Bowl quarterback.
Clock ticking down. 3, 2, 1. Pack your bags, Baltimore. The Ravens are going to the Super Bowl. Hallelujah! They're AFC champions with a 16-3 win over the Raiders. The Ravens have not only survived, but conquered the black hole.
The hours before a Super Bowl can be haunting. From intense introspection to public pantomime, emotions are profoundly affected. But for Brian Billick and Jim Fossil, mutual affection was equally profound.
Are we going to dress the same or something?
Well, our wives had the coordinators.
I know. How you doing? How's the
So far,
week been?
so good. Been great. We're getting the real thing coming on now.
I saw Jim earlier. Have a great one. I said to Joe Brown earlier, some coaches hate each other, but you 2 guys have a lot of respect for each other.
Yeah,
so
sure we do.
Glad to visit here with the 2 of you. And
Very good.
Have
Thank
a
you.
great football game. Keep playing the way you've been playing, and may the best man win.
I'm thrilled to be here.
There's something else.
But I'll tell you what, if I got to go against anybody, I respect it's you, sir.
Absolutely. Stay healthy, man. We'll hook up when it's done. Jim may be a better coach, but I'm a hell of a lot better looking than he is, all right?
Yeah. And plus, you signed the checks now, so I'm not going to lie, brother.
How cool is this?
You guys are paying me for this? How you feel?
You're like a kid, man.
Yeah, it's my candy
You've been
store
like this
right
for the last month.
Be the Finish what we started. Let's go now. If we're trying to be the best in history, the world is watching right now. We ain't gain respect all year, so we don't give a damn what nobody think.
Sugar Ray! That's the man! That's the man! There you go! There you go!
Something else, huh? Yeah, I know it. It's big.
Who wants a ring?
Who wants a ring? Dominique!
Hey, Dominique! Get up! We're gonna unleash hell! Dominic! 1, 2, 3, Dominic!
Stover approaches the football. We are underway. The flashbulbs sparkle. A high end-over-end kick.
Cover him, cover him, cover him. He's straight line, Yeah! Yeah! Hella baby!
Right from the opening kickoff, the Ravens dictated that Super Bowl 35 would be played hard and fast.
They don't know how fast we are.
Hey, play quick with him. Play quick.
On their opening possession, the Giants were beaten off the ball and battered and almost coughed up the ball deep in their own end.
That's the way to set the pace.
On the first snap of their second possession, Kerry Collins was sacked. Jim Fassel realized instantly what was wrong.
We got to tell our offensive guys, everybody, linemen backs. Our backs are going low. They're going around us. We've missed so many cut blocks right now.
Cut blocking Baltimore's athletic defenders wasn't working, and Fassel knew that the only hope of neutralizing them was to hit them head on and high.
Hey, we got it. We got everybody. Our backs and our line. We are a lot higher. I mean, our backs and line, we missed more than once. Going too low on cut blocks. We got to go up a little higher on them.
When fullback Greg Camella tried to cut block Ray Lewis, the NFL's Defensive Player of the Year simply hurdled him and hurried Collins into overthrowing an open Amani Toomer. Luke Pettigrew's cut block didn't even slow down Jamie Sharper, which left no cutback room for Tiki Barber, and none of the big plays Fassel had hoped to spring on the Ravens.
Hey, go back to that same thing you've got, when you first started this thing, too. Might spread them out, take some move goes on them, take some shots on them. You got to loosen them up.
Instead, it was the conservative, power-running Ravens who nearly made the game's first big play.
He's thrown the ball. He's got Johnson open, and it's off his hands, incomplete. He dove for it 5 yards deep in the end zone, and it was just overthrown. He just laid it out there. Patrick Johnson almost comes up with the reception. Patrick almost made a great catch. The ball just a little bit overthrown.
They sat on it. Perfect throw. That's perfect timing.
Hey, so much for being conservative coming out, huh? So much for being conservative. They come out gunning it. I know that. Yeah.
You keep throwing that. Don't pull back on that 9 now just because it hit him in the hand. You throw it the same way.
Ray Lewis never holds back, and he always plays the same relentless and physical way. In the first quarter, he commanded every inch of Raymond James and dominated it from sideline to sideline. Lewis ran down sweeps, blanketed tight ends, broke up passes for wide receivers, and most importantly, helped win the battle of field position.
All right, D, come on. You got him pinned, D. Keep him down. It's turnover time now.
Might tell Kerry to remind them out there now. They're going to attack our ass. We've got to get it out of there. They got to play quick, come off the ball.
Quickest off the ball again, the Ravens nearly forced another giant mistake.
White throws it over the middle, pass battle.
Oh, get the ball!
And it's deflected, and the ball is loose. And I don't know if it went into a Giant's hands. It's ruled incomplete.
Not surprisingly, Ray Lewis was the creator of that juggling goal line chaos as he tipped the ball and the Ravens nearly came up with it. Clearly, Baltimore's pressure defense was beginning to break Big Blue.
All right, field position. Come on, Jermaine, crank one. Crank one.
Jermaine Lewis gives a little ground and takes it right near the 35. Comes near side, looking for a block. He's at the 40. Now turns the corner. Midfield gets a block. 40. Cuts it back in. 35-30. Penalty marker down. Jermaine Lewis down to the 23. But a flag is down at about the 31-yard line.
Here we go. We're good.
Still in great field position, man. We have got to take advantage of this.
2 plays later, they would.
Back to throw, Trent Dilfer. Throwing deep down the middle for Stokely. He's got it. 10-5. Touchdown. Brandon
Trent Dilfer's eyes took safety Sean Williams to tight end Shannon Sharp's side, and before Williams could recover, Jason Sehorn was singled up and beaten by slot receiver Brandon Stokely. On the play, Sharp was already doubled by linebackers Jesse Armstead and Michael Barrow, but Williams wasn't about to let the Ravens' leading receiver get behind him. Instead, a perfectly lofted pass from Dilfer to little-used Brandon Stokely put the Ravens up 7-0. The first quarter came to an end with Trent Dilfer hoisted high in the city where his career began, and the Ravens right where they hoped to be, ahead by 7 in Super Bowl 35. The tone of the second quarter was set on its very first play.
Collins with the football, pretty good protection, throws over the middle, incomplete, and a big hit. Boy, Ike Hilliard took a shot.
Hilliard says, what was that truck number?
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, he'll think twice about going in there again. He'll think twice about that again.
Too much for them. That buzzsaw is too much for their asses.
With Ray Lewis and the Ravens defense watching Kerry Collins' every move, they seem to anticipate the path of nearly every throw.
Pass! Pick.
Back to throw Collins. Time in the pocket. Throws. Knocked in the air and intercepted. Sharper's got it up to the 47-yard line. Ray Lewis made the play. He deflected it up in the air, and Jamie Sharper picked it off.
What athleticism he has. I mean to tell you, it is unbelievable. Ray Lewis leaps into the air on that one, knocks it up. Damn it! Jamie Sharper comes up with the interception, Scott. Just fantastic.
Well, the Ravens forced 5 turnovers in the AFC Championship game in Oakland. They forced their first here today.
The Giants' defense looked to create its own opportunities against Ravens quarterback Trent Dilfer.
I'm telling you now, he's going to make a mistake, and we're going to score on defense.
Hey, here we go, D. Here we go. How about a turnover? Let's go.
Dilfer takes a straight drop back, under pressure, lets it go, and it's intercepted on the near sideline. Jesse Armstead's got it to the 10, to the 5, touchdown.
God almighty! Went!
There is a flag.
No, he's going to call it back. He's going to call it back. You're going to call holding on us.
No way!
The back.
Dilfer back to throw. He's throwing deep upfield for Ismail. Conway's got it, 50-40, and he's tackled. A saving tackle. He's down at the 35. Dave Thomas just got him by the ankle, or he was gone. Wow, what a play.
Kadri Ismail's catch set up Matt Stover for a 47-yard field goal attempt.
This could be huge, man. Come on, Matthew. Damn Pro Bowl kicker.
Kyle Richardson to hold. From the left hash. The snap, the spot, the kick is up. Plenty of leg.
Nailed it. Nailed it. Nailed it. Nailed it. Nailed it. He nailed it. That's big, man. That's big. Yeah.
Matt Stover gives the Ravens a little cushion with a 47-yard field goal, and he makes it a 10-0 lead.
We got a lot of football to play. Come on now.
With under 2 minutes remaining in the half, Tiki Barber raced 27 yards for the Giants' longest play from scrimmage and put New York in position for a critical score before intermission. But in a half where one quarterback was able to avoid the big mistakes, the other continued to self-destruct.
Collins back to throw, pump fake, throwing deep down the middle, and it is picked up. Chris McAllister has it.
Oh, yeah! Get up!
Back on his feet, he's tackled at the 5. The Ravens defense force another turnover, and the best defense in the business is showing the world why.
Why is right, Scott? These guys come up with the big plays. McAllister absolutely goes airborne on this, and the Giants squander a golden opportunity.
Chris McAllister's interception killed the Giants' most serious threat of the day, and against Baltimore's suffocating defense, the Ravens' 10-0 halftime lead seemed almost insurmountable. Baltimore's dogged pursuit was getting to Giants quarterback Kerry Collins.
Yeah! Atta baby Mac!
Roll it. Roll away.
Collins back to throw, deep drop, plenty of time, throws over the middle and picked off. Tim Harry's got it.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Field goal, Matt. Anything will do.
Not a good play, not at all by Collins. Harry read his read just perfectly. He kept looking at the quarterback. Bang, he stepped in front of him and picked up his first interception tonight, the third by the Ravens on defense.
Hey, if you don't like something, go ahead and toss it away if you feel anything around you. You don't.
Come on, D. Do what you do best.
What they do best is stop opponents cold, then force mistakes.
Slant over the middle, picked off by Dwayne Starks. He's got a touchdown. Touchdown to Wayne Starks. 49 yards.
Oh, Dwayne. Saw it all the way. Yeah, baby.
Whoa! I mean, he broke on the ball on that one, Scott. Broke right in front. Collins trying to get the slant in on it, and bam, off to the races. And the people in purple are going Raven wild.
Dwayne Stark's interception return for a touchdown helped give Baltimore a 17-0 lead. And with the Giants' offense ineffective, things looked extremely bleak for New York.
All right, come on. We're all right. Take it off.
Man, that's the way to read that ball. Wow!
Nice job. We're not done. We're not done.
Hey, now listen. All we got to do is settle down and make plays, man. Hey, we've got to make up our mind to go out and relax, play quick, stay after. Don't lose your confidence. Get the rhythm going that we came out here with.
Come on, cover for your life, baby. Cover for your life.
The interception return was only the beginning of the most amazing 36 seconds in Super Bowl history.
Dixon and Washington back deep. Stover with a high climbing kick. Dixon will range back to his own 3. Dixon to the 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 30, 40. There goes Ron Dixon. Ron Dixon's going to go. No one's going to catch him. 20, 10, 5, touchdown, 97 yards for Ron Dixon. And maybe the Giants do have a life with 3:31 to go in the third.
There we go, there we go.
Come on, J. Lou, get one. Make history, J. Lou.
Suddenly the Giant fans up making noise. They got some life. DeLuiso, good foot into this one. Or kicked it full, not real good though. 16-yard line, Jermaine Lewis, 25-30. J. Lou kicks it outside. He's at the 40, 45. He's at midfield, down the far sideline. Still on his feet. He's gone all the way. All right. Jermaine Lewis goes all the way. Oh my God. 84 yards, Tom. Back-to-back kickoff returns for touchdown. Oh, Jermaine, I told you he was going to break out again, didn't I? Oh, 84 yards for number 84.
So quick! It's ridiculous! Ridiculous! Give me some of that, man. Give me some of that.
Come here. Oh, yeah, baby. Good for you. Good for you. J. Lou, the littlest man on the Ravens, may have made the game's biggest play as he got momentum right back on Baltimore's side. And the Ravens now on top 24-7. Holy mackerel.
Back-to-back kickoff return.
Back-to-back-to-back. 3 scores in a row. Unheard of. Doesn't look too good for the Big Blue.
Jermaine Lewis's return all but sealed New York's fate, as Ravens coach Brian Billick well knew while he watched the play develop.
Come on, Jermaine. You return it. You return this. Go, Dwayne! Yeah! 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 Back to back! Yeah!
I'm getting too old for this.
No, there's a lot of people here, though. I mean, I'm talking about in the world, though.
The whole world was watching, and trailing 24-7, what everyone saw was a Giants team in shock. With a quarter remaining in Super Bowl 35, Jim Fossil's biggest challenge was to refocus whatever fight remained in his stunned and battered team. Across the field, Ravens head coach Brian Billick faced a completely different challenge.
Jeff, keep him backed up. Keep him backed up, Jeff. I got better things to do than back people up.
The anxious Ravens were only 15 minutes from a world championship.
About ready to go with that zipper, the 3 vertical.
Giants on their own 8 out of the gun. Collins steps up, now scrambling, hit from behind, fumble, ball is loose.
Oh, get the ball! Get the ball!
On New York's first possession of the fourth quarter, Baltimore just missed its 5th takeaway.
Just jump on it.
Giants' comeback hopes never had a chance because Ray Lewis and the Ravens were proving they truly were one of the NFL's greatest defensive units.
Get a touchdown, men. You're world champions. Field goal, maybe.
Baltimore proved their coach a prophet. On a short field provided by their defense, the Ravens went 38 yards on their first possession of the fourth quarter.
At a baby Ben! All right, field goal's huge, Matt. Field goal's huge.
A touchdown would be even bigger, and Jamal Lewis carried the Ravens to the Giants' 2-yard line.
Pounded in.
First and goal for Baltimore.
The Ravens right on the doorstep of putting this one away with a 24-7 lead. Pitch out, Jamal Lewis trying to circle the left side, head down, hit, dives, lost the football in the end zone, but was he in? Touchdown! Yes, he was.
Hey, challenge it, challenge it, challenge it, challenge it, challenge it, challenge it.
The touchdown run by Lewis was a close call.
I don't know how they could call that a touchdown. I don't think he ever got to the pond. They just flipped the ball out.
He did not have possession when that ball crossed the line of scrimmage, or when it crossed the goal line. He did not have possession.
I don't know if that ball ever broke the plane. Now, hopefully, with all of the cameras that are here for the Super Bowl, they have a camera on the goal line.
67 cameras, I understand.
The Giants' last shred of hope was lost when none of the many replays produced enough evidence to change the call.
Put your hands up.
Yeah, they're done.
Just when the Giants thought it couldn't get any worse, they fielded the following kickoff.
Line drive, knuckleball.
Ron Dixon, the man responsible for New York's points, also produced the 5th Giants turnover of Super Bowl 35.
And hit from behind, fumble. Get the Ravens have the football.
Number 35, Robert Bailey forced, then recovered the fumble.
Robert Bailey picked up the football.
The Giants had been stuffed.
Run it, kick the field goal. Run it, kick the field goal.
After becoming the first rookie to rush for a touchdown in the Super Bowl since 1988, Jamal Lewis finished with 102 yards rushing.
That's the way to go, rookie!
Matt Stover's 34-yard field goal completed a 34-7 World Championship victory for the Baltimore Ravens.
I guess we can't score no point, huh?
No. That's what happens when you look at one game instead of the previous 17.
Thank you.
They're all farts and giggles over the Minnesota game.
But I think we scored 5 more points than they did in the regular season.
Something like that. Oh. That makes too much sense.
Gentlemen, your attention, please. The most valuable player for Super Bowl 35 for the Baltimore Ravens, Ray Lewis.
World champs, bro. World champs, bro. World champ.
How about that,
How you doing, man? How you doing?
It took a while,
Hey, that's all right.
Worth the wait?
Hey, yeah, but you could have did it last year and it'd have been an easier ride.
No. Then the expectations would have run me out of town sooner. Andrew, come here. I want you to go empty out all the water containers.
No, you better
Andrew,
What's in it for me?
who's in charge here?
What's in it for me?
What's in it for you? If I get water thrown on me, you're fired.
Oh, no. Well, you know you're going to get it today.
If they get me, they're going to have to get a moving target. I ain't moving. Oh, you'll cover my backside, won't you? It's too cold. I want to stay dry. Oh! 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 Oh, it's too cold. Oh, I wasn't going to let you get me either.
The Ravens and Giants have finished Super Bowl 35 in a most dominant performance. The Baltimore Ravens end the season on an 11-game winning streak, and they win the Super Bowl and the Vince Lombardi Trophy.
And the Ravens are the champions of the world.
All right, gang. All right, baby.
Few teams have ever gazed upon the Vince Lombardi Trophy quite like the Baltimore Ravens. They were only the third wild card team ever to win a Super Bowl, an old-fashioned team that proved in an era of high-tech offense and sophistication, championships are still won with an unbreakable defense and an unbending will.
Tell you what, hell of a day. How about the old man, huh? Yeah. Long time in coming. 40 years, right? This is what all starts. We got nothing but class people in this organization. It always starts at the top. Doesn't just happen. It starts at the top, the kind of people you surround yourself. Now you're all world champions. Huh, boss?
I can tell you how proud I am of this organization. Not forget the front office. The head coach, the staff, the players, the trainers, everybody. You've done me proud, and I'll never forget it. I thank you.
Brian, just 2 years ago, you're offensive coordinator with the Minnesota Vikings. You got close. This must be.
Oh, you got me anyway.
I got some ice with Brian, but this must be pretty special.
Yeah, it is. I mean, for this city, for this organization, and for foremost the Modells. I mean, what this means to them, their family, you've just got to be thrilled for that alone. That's mine? Is that mine?
Oh, God, I'm so happy for you. I swear to God.
Careful now.
It's 2 years.
Mike.
I want to congratulate everyone here and thank you for the Modell family. You're magnificent athletes and beautiful performers, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thanks, Mark.
This NFL Films production has been brought to you by the National Football League. The NFL is online at www.nfl.com.